Today, a big shakeup in one state with less than 3 weeks until the election day on November 5th. Nebraska Supreme Court upheld voting rights for felons, and that means thousands can possibly register to vote ahead of November 5th. Joining me now is Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rose to talk about it and Khalif, today's decision that orders Nebraska's Secretary of State to allow people who have felony conviction to vote if they can.
Yeah, this is a process that's been I'd say multiple states have been doing things like this or trying to do things like this since probably early 2000. A number of states had a permanent lifetime ban. Nebraska was one of those states that had a lifetime ban. If you were a felon, regardless of what happened, you could not vote. 2005 rolls around and they roll this out where, okay, if you're done with your process, if you continue your probation is done properly, your fines are paid, now you can vote, but you have this 2-year waiting period. It was a 2-year kind of like a random number they picked out of there. There was nothing behind it. The state legislator just recently said, you know what, that 2-year process doesn't make sense. This person has paid their debt to society. Why are we making them have 2 more years to wait? Let's go ahead and allow them to register to vote. The Attorney General kicks back and says, you know what, not only do I think this is a bad idea, what you did 19 years ago in 2005, I don't like that either. And he's challenging that. He said, I think both of these are unconstitutional, that the only way a person that has a felony conviction can be put back in the position to be able to have their votes rights restored is by the governor, by some act of the commission. And who sits on that commission? He does. It's a 3-person panel. So there was kind of a conflict of interest with his statement. And the judge said that. The judge was like, well, under what condition do you believe these people should go? And it was kind of a back and forth. And so I thought there was a little entertainment in that process.
You know, Nebraska is one of the key states here. We talk about all these swing states like North Carolina or Arizona or Pennsylvania, but Nebraska, it's not a winner take all. They have, it's by each district, and one of those, Omaha, could be a deciding factor.
Omaha swing up in the balance. You're talking about it went for Biden, then it went for Trump. I mean, so it's really, really open. I mean, a lot of the demographics are changing, not just in North Carolina, but across the country. So you're watching places like that, and they do have a unique process where they have those 2, but then they have those ones that are based on the 3 individual races. And so you have to look at those distinct districts. But a state that's primarily Republican, like Nebraska, you would not anticipate that something like this would be getting so much pushback. But across the state, across the country, I should say, you are seeing a number of challenges to voter rolls. You're seeing a number of challenges to ensuring that the voter rolls are tightened up. You're saying that most of the challenges are coming from the Republican Party, and they're wanting to make sure that in each of these places where there are opportunities, I mean, because we're talking about small margins, where there's an opportunity for 1 or 2 votes to be cast a different way, want to make sure whoever's voting is legally authorized and should be voting.
Yeah, that one vote could really come down to all that matters. So Nebraska, never thought that we'd be talking a lot about that today, but we are. But this is what happens when you're leading up to the election that's going to be happening in less than 3 weeks.
100%. This is what you should be talking about, because these are the types of things that happen in closed courtrooms and you don't know about it, but the legislature has talked about it. Judges have now supported this, and at the end of the day, folks that have had their rights restored can get an opportunity to vote. North Carolina, very similar. Once you're done, off paper, even if you still have fines, you have an opportunity to be able to vote in the state if you're a felon.
And you said it yesterday, we're going to have a lot more of these type of cases leading up to the November 5th with legal challenges.
An avalanche.
And you were right. All right.